Welcome to Clydesdale Media. Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off at checkout at c4energy.com. The 2023 season series with some amazing athletes. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're first to know when new episodes are available. What is going on, everybody? Good afternoon. We are back. I'm the Clydesdale. I'm Scott. She is Emily Rolfe. She is one of my favorites. I'm so glad she's doing this with us. So much so I put Wonder Woman on the mic for you.
Wow.
I got out the Emily Rolfe card.
There you go. You're set.
Finally got it because I'm a super fan.
Wow. Thanks, Scott.
So you just got back from swimming.
Yeah.
How is that? I know last time we saw you, you were at Wodapalooza. You came in on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And we've said this the last couple of times we've talked. You came into the games last year as fit as I've ever seen you, and you came into Wodapalooza super fit to prove to everyone that you are back.
Yeah.
Then you got a little tweak.
Yeah.
So let's go from there. You had a month to prepare for the Open. I've seen your Instagram. You're doing every kind of treatment possible to get that calf ready. How's it going?
Yeah, good. I mean, going back to Wodapalooza, yeah, that was disappointing. What happened, but at the end of the day, like it wasn't worth the season pushing it, and kind of I know what I can do, prove to myself, and I just take that with me going forward. So yeah, my calf, we went on a cruise after, chilled out for a week, didn't do anything. It didn't really get better for the first week, which I thought was kind of weird. But then after that, it just like all of a sudden, just one day I woke up and I was like, oh, it feels better. And then steady incline ever since. Yeah, so that was what, I had 4 weeks till the Open-ish. It didn't add in a lot of like jumping, double unders, that kind of thing until probably like a week before the Open. I thought, oh, I better get some of these into my system. But again, that's like when you have that skill, that's not really a skill that you're going to lose. So I wasn't too worried. Yeah, week 1 of the Open was fine. Week 2, I tweaked it again, unfortunately. Not nearly as bad, but on the Wednesday, just in training, not during the Open workout, just the Wednesday before the week 2, so the shuttle run thruster workout. So that was rough. I'm not gonna lie. That was like, if you think, what do you want to do 100 jumping burpees and like jumping pull-ups with a wrecked calf?
So,
that was not nice.
So how glad were you that the bar was able to be right above your fingertips?
That was good, but it was still the motion, and then like the quick turns on the shuttle runs, like that whole workout was not friendly at all. But again, like for me, it's just, show up, do the Open, get through, stay healthy, and aim to peak later in the season. So we're on the mend now, and we're looking good for next week. So
when I first started CrossFit, I actually got a calf injury a couple times.
Okay.
Both calves at different times. And I was playing other sports along with CrossFitting because I had like found a new lease on life, and I was playing flag football and probably at an age I shouldn't have been and all of that stuff. But I found that with a calf, you think it's better and then it gets a little tweak, but the tweak isn't as bad as the original.
Yeah.
And then, so it's like this like ebb and flow of recovery coming off of it. Are you sensing the same thing?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the tweak 2 weeks ago was not nearly like it was at Wodapalooza. And it took way less time to feel better. So yeah, similar, but hopefully that's the end of that.
Yeah. And even knowing that the Open isn't super important for you, you still finished in the top 100 in the world, which is pretty amazing considering you're on one leg, you're you're doing all that stuff,
One leg, one arm.
and it doesn't matter tremendously.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been one to kill the open. Like, I think my best finish is probably 40 worldwide. I just, yeah, so it's not like and you're right, now that it really doesn't mean anything for like games athletes, it's like, just don't let it interfere with your training, because that's 3 to 4 weeks that it can like really screw up a training cycle, really, if you're trying to taper and trying to do really well or redo anything. And you know what, I just like kept what I'm doing in training, and trained right through it, and didn't worry about, like I did something really shouldery yesterday and now I gotta do the shouldery open workout. Like, just went through it like it was training.
That's probably the best way to do it, right? We actually have an athlete that we're following who is a bubble semifinal athlete. Like, it's going to be tight for her to make it. She gets so anxious during the open that she has not still looked at the leaderboard at all during the open because it's not important. She just needs to have her best weekend during quarterfinals.
Yeah. Yeah, so like she knows that's she's a smart athlete. Like, she knows, I know where I need to peak, and I'm just going to do what I need to do. I don't want to say like the bare minimum, but you just kind of do what you need to do, get through it, and you give it when it counts.
Yeah. So what do the next 2 weeks look like? Because it's a quick turnaround from the open to quarters. What does training look like for these 2 weeks?
Yeah, same. We're still aiming to peak later in the season, so it's kind of just to move through this one too, obviously with a little bit more intent, because the stakes are obviously a little bit higher than the open, but provided I stay healthy, it should be just move through next week and then eyes forward.
It's funny because, we're following athletes of all different levels, and their bubble point is at different spots. And so with the new format of the North American semis having 60 athletes at an event, the elite athletes are saying quarters are actually a little bit more important this year because you cannot afford to be in that bottom half of the heats.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to, but you don't know. Well, I mean, yeah. I was thinking, well, you don't know what the first event is. It could be like a mass thing, but probably not. That's probably more like games thing. So
Yeah, I asked. And then other athletes are like, I just want to get in, right? I just want to cross that line to make it to that point. So it's an
yeah.
interesting like dichotomy depending on where you are.
Yeah, and like I think my first year in Dubai, I was placed in the bottom heat. And I was kind of like, oh, come on, like I'm coming off the games, like, they just there's been a couple competitions, I've been in the first heat where I was like, man, I wish I was in the second or the third. Like, I want to be competing with, someone who's going to push me, kind of thing. And you got to kind of make it work wherever you are. And sometimes it works, sometimes because you're not pacing off someone else, you're doing your own thing. Like last year at Granite Games, like Christy Aramo, Haley Adams, me, we were all heat one or heat two or whatever. Heat two. I guess there's 3 heats. We were all heat 2 on day 2. And it all worked for us. We just surged up the leaderboard. So I don't think you
Yeah.
can dwell too much on that, but that's just me.
Yeah. Well, and gosh, it seems like the women's side of this sport has gotten real young. And you have like the handful of veterans that have kind of been there and done that and are just looking at it from a different lens.
Mm-hmm. I think just the competition experience, and you don't get it and you don't know until you've had it. Like, you asked me 5 years ago, I would have been like, oh yeah, I've competed. Like, I did gymnastics, I competed my whole life. Like, I know how to compete, but it's different. Like, it's just the things you gain and the things and just like that's very underestimated to have that under your belt, I think. So us oldies have that, at least.
Oldies. I wouldn't say oldies. I would say experienced. So, I know that you have a lot going on today. You have family from like New Zealand and a bunch of stuff. So I don't want to keep you too long today. But we're excited you're doing this with us. You're in the West this year, which is where you've always been. What are your thoughts that people are magically popping up on the opposite side of the Mississippi River than they were maybe a year ago?
I haven't really noticed. I mean, you can't, again, as an athlete, you can't bother yourself with that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the East, it looks pretty savage. So, I mean, if people are moving over, I can see why.
It was savage, but we've had some retirements. We've had some step aways. We've had people cross the Mississippi. So maybe it's not the murderer's row it was in the West. The West can hold its own too.
Yeah, and I mean, if you say, oh, well, the East is way more stacked than the West. Yeah, but if they give 10 spots to the East and 5 to the West, does that make it equal again? So it's like, again, it's not something you just got to jump through the hoops where you are.
All right. So when does Kyle get out the cardiac paddles? Is that semis?
Yeah,
or
usually
does it get him out of court?
No, quarters is chill. Semis and games usually. I usually
so they're in the closet still. Okay, perfect. Well, we have a couple comments I just want to throw up, and then someone said, Mr. Trading Card. Oh gosh, man, there's been a lot of chat. Who said that your Wonder Woman Instagram post was jaw-dropping?
Oh, thank you.
Kat is in the comments, and she said, say hi to Kyle. She's so excited that you're going to be with us this season, and excited for you this season.
Kyle, I will. Kyle's the people's favorite. No, nobody cares about me. Everyone loves Kyle.
So, and this is not CrossFit related. He's a posh Canadian who grew up in the UK, but he has family in New Zealand. I'm really confused.
His parents moved to New Zealand like 5 years ago from the UK. They just went on a trip and they're like, oh, we like it here way better. We're going to move. And so they did. That's the story.
And my last stupid question, and then we'll go for the day, is I was talking to Sydney Mikulishin the other night, and I got your jersey and her jersey finally after 2 months after Wodapalooza. And when the names were stacked together, your 5-letter name and her 67-letter name, that's what people in the comments were saying, together looked very odd. And I asked her, like, it must be hell filling out forms. And she goes, I really just do an S and an M and a swoosh.
Yeah. I don't blame her.
Then I was talking to people and they're like, well, Emily's would be tough because it's got a lot of loops. Do you sign your whole name or do you sign some of it?
I sign it all.
See, look at you.
My name's pretty short. It's not that bad.
Overachiever. It does have a lot of loops because my Schweitzer, the Z, like when I get that last loop of it, I'm just like, screw it. And then it just gets a swoosh for the E and the R, which is only 2 letters. But at that point, I'm just done.
Yeah, you're just done.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've never thought of that, but.
So, well, with that, I thank you so much for updating us. I'm so excited to follow you this season. I can't wait till semis to see you guys in person. And if I interrupted you, please say what you're going to say.
Oh, I know. I was just going to say my maiden name was longer than Rolfe, so it's easy now.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. So you caught a break.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that, everybody, we will catch you. Don't forget to tune in tonight. We have a 145-pound weight loss story on the show tonight, and I'm so excited to share that with everyone. That is at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we will see you then. Catch everyone next time on the Clydesdale Media Presents the athletes of the 2023 CrossFit Games season.